Do you want to
So
You want us to go?
do a selfie stick?
no.
Yes.
So hey guys. So we had a hangout about a month or so ago, I guess, in that one, and we started talking a little bit about what to do with the volume manager locks, right? And out of that came the idea that we need to try and get some workers compare and swap stuff to the land. And then we also talked about this need theoretically for a Nova spec, and I'm not sure we actually need to do that anymore because I thought you just said it was bug fixes that we need to fix. And so I don't know why that second bullet point is still there.
I think you're right. That's kind of what Nobu said this morning when we talked about the API and Nicola said, you know, he'd like to fix these as well. But try blocks around Nova because they should be there because we already can return an exception. So they seem okay with fixing it as a bug. So that can be removed.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked when I saw that again.
I think I cut and pasted from somewhere.
Oh,
when I put that up there.
Okay.
And take the bug fixing too. Use all individual bugs again. No one's left to fix it.
Well, part of the bugs were against Cinder, though, right?
Well, I think, you know, obviously lean on Nicola to file the bugs to fix it and let him deal with it. And he's certainly got the ear of people. Right? So,
What else is left? Scratching my head.
well, yeah.
I mean, we talked a lot about this in the previous discussion,
Yeah.
right, AJ, so I think we covered some of that there and hang out. So I think we should just.
So, yeah. So maybe the only thing is about drivers, how to get drivers to be more motivated to remove the locks if they can.
Yeah. So I thought that might kind of.
So we'll use DLM for impact package. So we can write the documentation how the drivers require a DLM. And it's kind of
We get those driver maintainers to implement the DLM in Cinder.
Do any drivers actually? Why would a driver require you?
Well, they have
so for
locks.
example,
Do that, yeah.
multi-based ones require that.
Shared file system.
Yes, like that's the concept.
We have a cover as well.
The driver requires it for we like automatic post creation stuff, so management things on array, where it's the first time we would put an initiator and two on the categories. That's like anything else.
So the spec that you have, are there any dependencies like which ones should go in first or like because there are so many, right?
But okay, you mean the API?
I mean, just if
We're only regarding the concurrent swap, the patches that are.
yeah, I'm talking about like the spec, the API releases, and the job distribution, all of those. So does it matter which one goes in first or just?
They have a section with dependencies, which each spec which specifies why they need it, which part of other specs are needed and what.
Okay.
So
Kind of updated now.
yeah, I have to actually change a lot of things because there are some specs that are no longer needed, some that need a lot to make it more manual and less prone to problems. So
yeah, because if you make it clear, then we can just look at earliest one, whatever should go in
Okay.
first.
Okay. Well, there is one spec which is basically a generic
Master.
overview of the different ones. So I will try to also include there the which is the needed order of them all. Okay.
So the manager logs actually, so you have two types. You have log on the delete when they are creating a volume. When we are planning a volume, we are logging the source volume to prevent that being deleted. And we can actually remove that using atomic state changes with a slight change in behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that happens. As soon as we are that way, whenever the attached these are harder to remove because we are sometimes
Two different paths. The Nova path, which basically, which basically calls reserve, which changes the status to attaching, and then does the actual process of attaching. And we have our internal call, which is basically called directly attach. So now with logs, we are actually queuing those operations, so we have no problem. But if we remove the logs, we either have to change internally, but we cannot actually change it to attaching, because in some cases the resource is in migrating, for example, a status. So those ones are more problematic. That's why the proposal I made was basically doing a log with the database that had timeout. Well, not exactly timeout, but when the node died, it could clean up those logs. But since now we are going to do it manually, we have to review if that's possible. Yeah.
I like the DLM solution because that doesn't break anything and lets us move faster.
It doesn't make us move faster. People fall out deploying packages.
Yeah, so
That's
for
what I said, but
I know. OSP has actually DLM configured threads to support this monitor.
that kind of goes opposite of what we thought we concluded an hour ago.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get to some kind of conclusion before
Well,
we leave town.
I think the conclusion was that we actually have to look into a way to get those 4 logs without a DLM and keep the same behavior we currently have.
Okay, so your specs are proposing that, but they are like terribly complicated. So that's the problem.
Yeah, the problem is that now we have to go back to the drawing board and see if there is an alternative with the new changes, which basically change the cleanup and remove the auto fencing. So, but I don't know if anybody has any other idea to create a log that is not the DLM, which I also like, I must admit. And or doing a log with the database in any way. And I don't mean just using a row or whatever, but then you need to clean it up with the node process. Or wait for the manual cleanup, but then you have a lot of.
That's like well, a fact is to prevent the telephone calling at 3 a.m. and this is like really similar situation. So hey, I cannot delete my volume. What's happening? Okay, manual.
Yeah, but that's what we agreed, that we don't want it to be done automatically.
Also, I mean when the manual cleanup of stale logs, unreleased logs. So that's
Why did we decide we didn't want to do that?
Because
You don't trust it, or?
Yeah.
You don't want it-
because at the first stage, it would introduce a lot of complexity, and it would be quite more risky to just, like they explain, like Sandy delete a lot of things.
So, sorry, I missed the earlier conversation, but you had mentioned was an idea about database lock.
Yes. The problem with that approach is that it's complex, and it depends on the automatic cleanup that we are saying that we don't want.
I just wonder if you could do that in such a way that it because if you concentrated where that took place,
the main problem with this is that when you are using a DLM, or you have the same problem with a DLM,
right,
using the database, any kind, you don't know if you've just lost the heartbeat or if the node is actually down. You have no way of knowing. That's why I propose the auto-fencing. It's if you lose your heartbeat mechanism, you have to stop immediately because someone can decide to do a cleanup. If they do a cleanup and you're still working, you have a problem.
The problem that I see, you know, a lot of people jumped on the DLM thing and it's like, yeah, DLM, it's like, maybe it is. But the problem I see is I don't think people realize how complex, especially in Texas, DLM is. It's not any simpler than some of this stuff that we're proposing.
Yeah, but the difference is that there are people working specifically at that, and I'm sure they know their stuff way better than.
I would agree. I don't disagree. I mean, well, I don't know. You're a pretty sharp guy, but
not that.
But I mean, I see your point, and it's a valid point. The other thing is, I think some people don't realize that in most of those cases, you're going to have 5 nodes to run a single volume service.
A single volume? No.
For quorum, you would have to have minimum of 3. 5 is better.
You mean, but if you a single volume? That's how you do it. But only for active, right? Not for active passive.
Yeah. So the good part is that this doesn't change anything about the current situation. So if someone wants to deploy based on pacemaker and failover, that's fine. It works just as it was before. Because people do want active.
Yeah, that's actually one benefit from using a DLM, that you don't introduce any penalties to active passive because you're using still file logs. So that's a big benefit. Any other mechanism will probably be for everything, for active passive and active active. So
it seems like moving forward, I brought this up earlier when it shut down. Why can't we go down the path of adding support and synergy deal? Including like I'll where Cure needs it for our driver to work. So we do that. We get to where these volume manager locks, if you have 2 set up, Cinder's configured to use it, it'll be distributed locks. Otherwise, they're just the file right? And then we keep working on this other stuff. Right? The equivalent better idea, and we can take those locks out. Awesome.
yeah, I suggest that 6 months ago and got shut down. Same did Michal.
We got shot down for that same reason.
So they would meet that right now.
It's different now because there was a consensus in that cross-project group that having a DLM as a requirement is okay. That's the difference now.
And it's not even a requirement. So it's just like if you want that, we need that.
So who's going to argue against that?
So I won't, but I am curious what the arguments against it.
You didn't like it either.
Well, I'm not using Cure, so I don't have to deploy.
But you're saying only for drivers?
So,
Because he doesn't want it in the manager.
You still use file locks that are you're
if
using
you
today.
don't deploy the DLM, they do exactly what they do today with lock decorators. Functionality-wise, are no different. So there's no regression.
No, what
But you
I'm
have to
asking
deploy.
for.
I'm not using Cure.
You don't.
So are we now talking about only driver locks, not manager locks?
Because
I know, but
you're using local file locks today.
No, I think he was actually talking about changing the volume manager locks to use the DLM?
Just all the locks in wait,
Yeah.
what is it?
If they
But
call
now
it-
you have
to
to
use the
configure.
DLM is to use twos, and the back end is
Now
either
you-
local file, if you wish, which is what you got today, or DLM.
Yeah.
And you can toggle on those, so you'll get exactly what you got today. You just stick in twos in between.
What's the default back end for twos?
File.
Yeah.
What we do today.
Maybe not, but we can set it.
So it's stuff will work because it's just going to use the file that you're already using. And if you say, I'll go through the trouble of deploying a DLM,
You won't
then
be
you
able
As long as
to
we keep
seem
getting rid of the manager lock,
the
that's only desirable thing that we can review and.
you will have to use it like you are
I think
set
that's
up
happening.
and not
yeah,
use
but that's a
the
lot of
tractor
complex code that
and whatever
Yeah. So we
functionality
don't
because they are
necessarily
saying
rush to do
to
this,
use
but
the
I think it's
DLM for
desirable
active
rather than
also.
saying the DLM solves all my problems.
Right. I mean, I think maybe I'm putting words in people's mouths here, but getting to where you can run active back is higher priority than not having a DLM or the management. So, right. That's amazing. Right. I guess
it seems like there's a lot of specs and a lot of code, and so making it simpler to get, doing something like getting rid of the volume manager box is a good idea, but it should probably be subordinate to all
Well,
this
now
other
since
stuff.
we're not
You don't have
forced
to
to
commit.
review newer drivers for M1, we can get this in quickly and
Yeah,
still work on that.
I don't think even like subordinate, I think like parallel.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just.
I suggested,
I'm
we suggest that 6 months ago.
You need to do the driver lock anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be working on that. So as long as we're not saying that's always leaving a note on your look at the trying to get the volume manager patches.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Patches are there.
No, the patches are there, need to work on.
So,
Yeah.
so everybody's good with the,
So-
basically putting twos in the middle, and then you can shoot your DLM or your file locks.
And keep working on
You have
moving
a choice
it.
of number.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Awesome.
I think you can actually make that even less prohibitive. You can make multiple choices, whether it's two, whether it's whatever.
The tools is
Well, two
abstraction
gig
layer,
is
so
better.
provide
Two
something
gig
of the
is better.
choice.
Well,
If it's difficult release.
right, well, I have other ideas on active, so it had nothing to do with DLMs. But there's other needs for DLMs, so I wouldn't derail the conversation.
And even if you want to use something else to do it, I mean,
It's all configured.
we're just gonna have a block decorator.
No, I think that's fine. It's just a deployment. This is. I think that's
And how are we going to prevent multiple nodes accessing the same resource when we lose the connection to in the node to the DLM?
Yeah, so if you are losing the connection to DLM, you are in the minority, so you not have quorum. And
Yep, you are already accessing the resource. You are in the middle of 10 operations, you lose the connection to the DLM.
Because
the next operation
Yeah.
is done.
No, I mean,
If you're
the problem,
stop immediately.
yeah, then we go back to the complexity of the auto fencing.
Yeah, but
Is there anything in the abstraction, the twos or such, to kind of do heart beating or?
yeah,
It depends. It depends. Well, it depends on which backend are you actually using. Some need heartbeats, other rely on the connection being kept. So, but they all have a way to detect.
So the problem is that if you are losing the connection, what should you do? Because other will see that the log is released and may start to work on such logged results.
I'm somewhat concerned we get data collection doing that, particularly around stuff like the initial. Like, if you're copying stuff from an image, for example, you don't want that thing getting attached to a fragment. That's how you get data collection.
Yeah.
But if you can't get the lock, you shouldn't be able to get into the critical section.
Yeah, the problem is that you lose the connection on a node to the
It
DLM.
sounds like
Acquiring the lock should fail.
Common issue to
No,
solve.
don't.
What locking
Yeah,
solution
so-
doesn't solve this issue?
So normal flow is fast.
That's the trouble with these data.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
that's
auto fence or
or
have a
the other.
service like pacemaker, which will Just send APMI request to shut down the server. Boom. No, doesn't work.
So that brings us back again to the other spec we didn't review because we said we were going to do it manually. We didn't have a look. We didn't go into the data corruption prevention, which is the auto-fencing. Which is basically, you lose your heartbeat, you must stop all operations.
But that's
Yeah.
out racy and fragile.
Well, no, racy is not. It's a little bit of work, but it's not racy because you know your timeouts, the cleanup timeout, you know it, or the log timeout. So you actually. Oh yeah, but we could. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was on board with doing it manually first because this is tricky to get it working fine. But if we go back to DLMs and doing that, we have the same problem, no difference.
I don't think DLM solve up. This is my whole thing. I don't think DLM solve up problem. I don't think DLM will give you a safe solution because of these data function issues.
So here's the thing.
What will do?
So can we just back up for a second? As has been pointed out, we've been going around on this for probably 6 months. There are people that have a proposal. They have a proposal that they think may work. They're willing to write it. They're willing to implement it. So let's just fucking do it. Implement it. And if you want to pick it apart, that's fine. But I think we're, this is kind of the point for me is we're sitting here arguing about something that we're not really argue about.
Yeah, because the problem is that many of these different pieces need for HA interact one with another, and one depend on the other. Yep. So it's complicated. We actually have to want it to do.
It's super complicated. What I'm saying is,
are we going to revert like 1,000 lines of code when we decide, oh, I don't like this way of solving it, which renders half the work done.
Here's the thing that I can tell you based on my experience. We can sit here and analyze and talk this to death. We can do this for a year, and we will not have any more insight 6 months from now in talking about it than we have right now today. The only thing that ever flushes anything out, in my opinion, is code in doing it. And I think that's what we have to do.
Part of the code.
I know. So let me be clear. This wasn't a criticism on what you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing a great job, and I think there's great code. This is a criticism on the constant back and forth. Do this. No, don't do this. Do this. Oh, but what if this? And oh, but what if that? I think that's healthy, and I think that's normal, and you have to do that. But I think sometimes we do too much of that. I think what we need to do at this point is decisions have been made at this summit about a DLM and it being perfectly acceptable and doing it and everything else. I say we make a decision, we go down that path, and we start implementing it. Work on your pieces, you guys work on your pieces, and we just start doing it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what we should do.
Worst case scenario, the DLM, the change to use tools will not be as useful as we wanted.
Yeah.
But
exactly. So what?
Behavior will still be the same. So
as long as we're not breaking anything, who cares, right? So we tried it. It didn't work. All right, back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, we can sit here and do this forever.
Like we did our Navy SEAL.
Let's talk about that.
Instead of cleaning.
Okay, then. Make sure Winston's comment was addressed. We're not going to impose a lot of heavy infrastructure on someone that doesn't want it.
Right.
Doesn't
And I honestly, I think if it's done the way you guys are describing, I think it's perfect because I think it also leaves the door for other implementations. So, because I think there are other ways to do it. So, that's great.
So they would have your own position for that.
Yeah, I just have to prove it. So I have a proposition to actually put it into containers. Put container registration. And let it do, and and let it actually do all of this control and blocking. Because again, there are people working on that and way ahead of where I will ever be on doing distributed systems. So, yeah, I'm not, like I said, it's not trivial, but you know what? I think it's a pretty good idea.
See, so we are looking at a major project, and now we are there's an idea to get Docker, which is like 2 years old.
So again, just, now, to be fair, I didn't criticize your idea. Did I criticize your idea?
Okay, so.
And
Yeah, you did.
We could have a volume type that decides which one. Yeah, containers was a huge topic. Some of that, I think it's going to become more and more a part of what we
well, I'll
do.
tell you what, from a deploying OpenStack perspective, based on what I've done, I think it makes a huge difference.
All right.
You agree with it? That's why you volunteered.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already done. Oh,
You shouldn't have said that.
no, don't do it. I'll do it.
Actually, yours.